Walking out of the house and turning off the lights has become a very hard process. Going to school and walking through the halls, nearly impossible. Cutting a nice steak with the sharpest knife in the kitchen, the most triggering thing you've done in a long time. Piercing screams and voices that won't go away. Constant confusion, insecurity, and insanity encompassing an entire human being, never stopping, never going away, the most haunting thing imaginable. The fear of never being good enough, the fear of the people around you, the fear of nothing being worth it, the fear of life not being worth it. Words cannot describe what this feels like. Nothing can help express these things to other people. How do I cope? How do I fix myself? Can I fix myself? Will the pain ever just stop? There are ways. Therapy, medication, hospitalization, but none of that sounds promising enough. It's all just one big joke to the outside world. Everyone is out to get you. No one is on your side, not even yourself. Coping is just a way of temporarily getting by. Writing, drawing, singing, exercising, it's all just so typical and fake. Screaming, crying, burning, cutting, fighting. It relieves the pain by inflicting more and more, and it works. It works like absolutely no other. But it's addicting, and pretty soon you crave more and more and more. Now, it's not enough. The pain becomes greater, and you can't live through it anymore, because in fact, you aren't even living at all anymore. You're just surviving, getting by on the absolute least amount possible. You're extremely tired and sick of it, done with it. You're afraid to live and afraid to die. Just existing seems wrong to you. Ending it all seems like the best and the only choice. You're a burden, and that's it. Dead weight at its finest. Maybe things would be better if you weren't there. The voices call out to you as you lock the door, load the machine, gently press it against your temple, and push your finger back on top of the little piece of metal that launches the bullet. You're done, gone, and it's over with. Think of the most important person in your life. A parent or a friend, maybe a role model. Think of their smiling face looking straight back into yours, and know that you are the reason for that smile. Picture the two of you standing in the most beautiful place you can think of. Anywhere in the world that you find to be closest to your heart. Is it someplace warm? Someplace comforting? Someplace that makes you truly happy? Now imagine the most beautiful song you have ever heard softly playing in the background, while you were just sitting there looking up at the stars. No cell phone, no computer, no nothing. Absolutely no contact with the outside world. Anything except for the most amazingly important person that you'd want to spend this unforgettable moment with. No cares or concerns, no problems or troubles, no questions or comments. Just happiness, calmness, purity, and serenity. Now think of the alternative, the exact opposite of what was just described to you. You have been transported to a terrible, awful place that you never wish to see in your lifetime. Guns are being fired in every direction. People you despise for whatever reason are screaming at you, shaming you for no reason. You are all alone in this horrible place. You're confused, you're scared, you just feel so numb. Everything you know and love is being destroyed in front of your eyes. You look around and all you see are mirrors and monsters and terrifying things. There is no way out, absolutely no way, because God knows you've tried. Hoping, praying, pleading to get out of this place somehow, some way, just maybe, please. You drop to your knees, and you have now restored to begging. You don't want to live if it's going to be like this. Moments and memories like these last a lifetime. They never ever leave your mind. The second scenario is what it's like living with a mental disorder. The inside of someone's mind when they have a mental disorder is a dark and disgusting place. It's misunderstood by most everyone. No one can understand. No one even tries to understand. It is not poetic or tragically beautiful. It is not a wonder or a mystery that would be a joy to solve. No, it is suffering, constant pain and suffering. It's like being stabbed in the head 1,000 times over the course of a second. It never leaves, and it is definitely not a joke. I'm so OCD today. Or I don't know, I'm just bipolar sometimes. Or I get so much anxiety from that. The fact that those phrases even convey a message to the majority of people is truly sickening. OCD is perceived as having to check to see if you lock the door once or twice. Bipolar is seen as just changing your mind 3 or 4 times on what you want for dinner. Anxiety is just a small little fear of heights. But that's the most inaccurate perception possible. Everyone in the world is a victim of ignorance until they are exposed to the truth, myself included. I have no way of knowing what the truth value to all of this really is, but I do know that people treat a broken arm like it is 10 times worse than a broken mind. But how can that possibly be? A broken arm heals in a matter of weeks or maybe months. A mental disorder takes years to heal, and as a whole, it causes a lot more pain than just a broken bone. Just because they are different kind of pains doesn't mean that they are unable to be compared. Physical pain, of course, can measure up to mental and emotional pain, no doubt. But when someone breaks an arm or a leg, everyone rushes to sign their cast. When someone is diagnosed with a disorder inside of their head, everyone labels them and rushes to wherever they can get that's farthest away from them. If you have a mental disorder, you are automatically a freak, and the name for your broken limb gets thrown around in everyday language like it's nothing. Stop saying that you get anxiety from being outside when it's dark. Stop saying that you're depressed because you got straight C's last semester. Stop saying you're schizophrenic because you heard noises coming from downstairs and no one else is home. Stop labeling these things like they're nothing. And stop trying to relate them to yourself because they are disease and someone does not get to choose whether or not they get them. You wouldn't try to relate your mildly rare headaches to someone with brain cancer, would you? No, because cancer is a life-threatening disease that is not preventable and is not a joke. A mental disorder should not be treated any differently just because it isn't visible by other people. It is still painful, it is still tiring, and it is definitely not a joke.